Alright, hello everyone, it's Happy, and today we're talking about the FV215B, otherwise known as the Death Star, and this is of course a tier 10 British tank destroyer with a humongous, gigantic gun. Now, Wargaming are deciding to sort of nerf this tank, I guess, when it comes to certain parameters. That's why we're going to be looking at this tank in a little bit more depth, right? Now, this tank is getting an armor change, so the upper part of the hull, so the upper part is going to have a thicker armor, so it's going to be harder to penetrate, I guess. Of course, the front part of the turret is also getting an armor buff. However, the lower plate is getting an armor nerf. So in this case, I don't know. Are they going to try and make the, Death Star sort of strong when it comes to armor? Something like the Jagdpanzer E100? Something like that when it comes to the armor? I'm not really sure because I don't necessarily have all the numbers. But in this regard, the Death Star is going to be a little bit stronger when it comes to the armor. Because no one cares whether or not the lower plate was nerfed or not, right? Because before this, it's not like it could stop anything anyway. Even the weakest penetration at tier 10 could smash right through it. Under any sort of angle, it would come up, right? So this is not a nerf at all when it comes to the armor profile, of course. The gun handling is being, buffed up a bit. So the aim time is going to decrease by 0.8 seconds, which is really good. However, the stabilization and, of course, the accuracy is being worsened. I don't know which is technically worse, but I feel like the reduced aim time is going to play a key role in the Death Star being able to shoot a lot better now. The stabilization doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense to nerf because it's not like you would ever be on the drive by and just shoot someone while being on the move or while swinging your turret in the Death Star. That doesn't necessarily happen. Unless you try and get, super duper lucky. Apart from that, that does not happen very often, so I don't necessarily think that is too bad, right? The speed forward, the maximum speed, is going to increase by 4 kilometers per hour, while it's going to decrease by 2 kilometers per hour when it's moving backward. So again, 50-50, I don't know, it's going to move forward faster, get into position quicker, but then it's going to slug back a little bit slower than before. Again, I don't know if it's a buff or a nerf, right? The armor penetration of the normal HE shell is going to decrease to 80 millimeters. Again, this is not great, but at the same time, I don't know if anyone necessarily used the basic HE shells. They could be very useful in cases when someone has their rear to you where you don't necessarily need to use HESH shells, or if you're just spamming into, the side armor of the E100, which is trying to side scrape. In that case, I feel like it's completely okay to do that. The most interesting thing is that the alpha per shot is going to increase by 20 and 90 points, so that's also pretty cool. Of course, that is for armor piercing shells, so the basic shells, and of course the other shell type. The thing is that the HESH shells, the special HESH shells, are going to have their alpha decreased by 90, which is, again, doesn't seem like a lot, but for the Death Star, it is a key point of its gameplay. I feel like the HESH shells were something very important to this tank, but I'm actually on board with Wargaming decreasing the alpha by 90 on the HESH shells, because sometimes the HESH shells would smash you into the side for like 1.4k, and that would be very, very annoying. Super duper annoying. The shell velocity is going to decrease as well, and of course the amount of shells you are able to carry per battle is also going to increase. Again, all of these changes indicate a buff, but at the same time, I feel like the main thing about this tank was the HESH shell, because I don't know whether or not the armor is going to be that great. But the HESH shell is definitely getting nerfed, and that is a key component of the Death Star, and that is why a lot of people liked it. So again, I don't know, maybe the gameplay is going to change completely now. We're going to see in the upcoming update. Tell me what you guys think about this in the comment section below. And with that, happy is out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.